welcome to the K-Files. We have with us this morning, JP is a co-host, of course, and have with us Captain Sherrod from Nash County Sheriff's Office. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Glad to have you both. This morning we're going to talk a little bit about something a little bit different. We're going to talk about a project, but we'll just say that there's no change in the status of the cases that you have at this point.
Not right now. The last one we had on Lonesome Pine Road, that was assigned to Taylor Neal, who's a lieutenant in the investigation division.
Okay.
He's probably did about 15 to 20 interviews, and hopefully he's making some ground, but that's going to end up being one of our tough cases for us. But he's making some headway, so we'll see how it turns out.
Okay, very good. Your son, Parker, is involved in a project that you've talked about, but in case people were not watching, talk a little bit about it.
Well, Parker's up for his Eagle Scouts, and he had to come up with a project, and he decided to do the for his Eagle Scout project. He wanted to add the 5 missing names on the fallen officers memorial outside the courthouse in Nashville. Once we did that, we started getting quotes and estimates. We got permission from the county commissioners, clerk of court Linda Thorne, of course, Sheriff Stone, Superior Court Judge Quentin Sumner, and all them got in behind it. And so they approved it, and we started fundraising efforts. Several people donated to us, and then we had a pork chop sale event 2 to 3 weeks ago. And good gracious,
it went well.
It went well, and I don't ever want to do anything like that again. If the people that have watched, we started out saying that we were going to sell 250 plates, and we were going to give everybody 2 pork chops per plate, so that was 500 pork chops we were going to cook and sell plates. And then by the time it was all said and done, the guy at the Piggly Wiggly in Nashville was going to choke me. But we went from 500 pork chops to the actual day that we cooked, and we cooked 1,080 pork chops.
Oh, my word.
So we sold 540 plates. I had a lot of personal friends came out and helped us. Law enforcement friends came out and helped us. Several Parker's friends came out and helped us. Half of the Rocky Mount Academy football team come out and helped us.
Wow.
And I mean, it went extremely well. We couldn't ask for it to be any better. We just had no idea that the community would jump on it as good as they did. And like I said, we went from selling 250 plates to 540 plates. So, I mean,
look at the calls.
Yeah.
Well, it was, and and luckily for me, I've had the pleasure of meeting a lot of business owners and working at the sheriff's office, and a lot of those businesses jumped in and said, "Hey, we want to do this for Parker. We're going to buy our employees a certain amount of plates. If and we said, look, if you do that, we'll deliver them to you." So those, like I said, those kids from friends of Parker's and the football guys from school. We had them running all over Rocky Mount delivering plates, and
wow.
it was just, I mean, it was a great event. It was extremely tiring, but I don't ever want to do anything like that again.
But it was for such a good cause, and that's the reason they did it. Yep. Plus, what can you say when a kid is trying to get his Eagle Scout? I mean, what can you say?
Well, I mean, and JP, I think you got yours, don't you? Or your son's got yours.
Both my oldest boys are Eagle Scouts.
Yep.
Oh, really?
And it's a job. It's a job to help get them there. Yeah.
And I mean, and we've told Parker the whole time. I mean, it looks absolutely great on a college resume when he gets ready to go to college.
Absolutely.
And so we want to get it, and and it was for a good cause. And I've said before, there's 5 missing names. 2 of them are extremely older, where they forgot to put them up there when they first did the monument. The latest 3, the one from Rocky Mount, Edgecombe, and then Nash County, of course. Parker had the pleasure of meeting 2 of those guys.
Wow.
And so, I mean, it was special for him to be able to do those. And
who are the 3?
The 3 from the 3 recent ones. One is Chris Driver from Rocky Mount Police Department, got killed in a car wreck. And then David Manning with Edgecombe County Sheriff's Office got killed in a car wreck. And then, of course, Jared Allison with us at the Sheriff's Office got killed in a car wreck.
Right.
So
Wow.
those are the 3 latest, and Parker was able to meet 2 of those guys. And so it meant a lot to him to do it, and then to meet their families and their mamas and dads and stuff. And, so it's a good project. I mean, I'm glad it's over. Now we just got to sit back and wait for the final engraving to be put on the monument, and then the bench to come in with the engraving and stuff on it. And so once that's done, we'll have a dedication and be able to do everything we need to do.
So you're going to have a dedication
We will.
ceremony, which will be in front of the courthouse.
It will.
And you'll let us know when it is, and so we can announce it, because there may be people that want to participate, come.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And-
mean, we definitely have already received Facebook messages and stuff like that saying, please let us know when the dedication is going to be, and we want to come. So whenever that time comes, we have a big dedication, have the families there of the fallen officers, and hopefully several law enforcement from all 3 agencies will show up and just have a good turnout.
So this is not something that you put in your son's mind.
It is not. Parker, he grew. I mean, I've been a cop forever, and,
Right.
and Parker, he's grew up in his lifestyle, and he's just been around it. And we just happened to be at the sheriff's office one day, and we got to talking about something that could be done around the sheriff's office, and this idea popped up. And as soon as we thought about it, that was it. I mean, he didn't have another idea as a backup plan. This is the only thing he wanted to do. So it's been huge. Like I said, the community stepped up and donated and purchased plates, and we've raised enough money to get it done, and hopefully now we're just sitting back waiting for it to happen.
So you have raised what you need.
We did. We've
Very
raised what we
good.
need, and then I think we have a little bit extra so that on the day of the dedication we can give flowers to the family and things of that nature.
Now, that would be
That's good.
nice.
That's neat.
That's the little extra things that you can do, because the community did step up.
Yep.
This community is so giving.
They are.
We were known, years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, an article came out that we had been deemed as the most giving community in North Carolina.
Wow.
So, yeah.
People love to support law enforcement.
yeah.
People love to support
Yes,
scouting.
yes,
Boy
that's
Scouts,
right.
especially Eagle projects.
Yeah, this is a twofold thing
Yeah,
to really
all the way around.
support. It really is.
Well,
So,
I've said it before, when the sheriff teaches concealed carry classes, when they had all the protesting and the riots going on, a year and a half ago, they had all the problems. Greenville had problems, Raleigh had problems, Durham, but we didn't have any problems in Nash and Edgecombe County.
Right.
And I think that it's because of the leadership you have, and that, they see us out in the communities. I mean, we are constantly in the community, so is Sheriff Atkinson over in Edgecombe County, and I think that's a large reason why we didn't have any problems here. All we did was kind of ride around and watch them. I mean,
Yeah.
nobody acted out of the way. Nobody said anything out of the way in law enforcement. So we were tremendously blessed during that event to where nothing actually happened in Nash and Edgecombe counties.
that's right. Well, I do congratulate Parker.
Thank you.
Just tell him, a job well done for a young man like that, to have something like that on his mind to do, and congratulations. He'll be getting hit. When will he get his?
Well, he'll get it once the dedication and everything's completed. Then he has to have it. It's a booklet they have to have that shows everything they did for the Eagle Scout project complete. Then he has to set up an appointment to go in front of the board, and then he should be able to
I
get
didn't
it.
know exactly how that worked. I have a girl.
Lucky.
There's a lot into it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a
whole
lot. I mean, they tell him he has to keep up with his time for every single thing he
Receipts.
does, his receipts,
People
pictures.
that participate. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
Wow.
it's a book, and he has to have all of that. Has to have the pictures. Has to have the cost, like JP just said.
basically like a business plan.
It is.
Wow.
It's like
It
a
is.
business plan. They make them lay it out and how many man hours were spent, and I mean, it's a lot of work for a young man to be able to
is.
complete.
But it's so rewarding when he gets finished. He'll feel so
Oh, yeah.
good
It's something you
about
can never
this.
take away from him.
That's exactly right, and it's rewarding, and it's something that I'm just so glad the Boy Scouts they do for these young people. So, okay. Well, in closing, is there anything else from the Sheriff's Department? Sheriff's Office?
Sheriff's Office.
Jeff is teaching me well.
Yes, we this weekend, if you're interested, we were approached by a motorcycle group called the NAM Knights Motorcycle Club. They wanted to do a motorcycle ride in honor of a 9/11, and they wanted to once they have their motorcycle ride and collect the money for the people to ride in it, they want to donate that money back to the Sheriff's Office.
Oh, wow.
So that's this Saturday. Registration starts at 9:30. So if you're interested in riding a motorcycle, we're going to have our 2 motorcycles leading the route, and it's about a 2-hour ride. And then they're going to come back to the Sheriff's Office, and we're going to feed the ones that were riding and participating in the ride.
Oh, wow. How nice.
So,
well, that was nice of them to come, and because, the more donations the Sheriff's Department gets, the more equipment we can have, the more equipped we can be to solve these crimes.
And plus, it also helps with more events that we want to have in the communities. I mean, it pays for hot dogs when we want to do a hot dog event, and like we did with the book bag event. I mean, we did that book bag event over a month ago, I guess, and we were out of book bags in 45 minutes.
Golly,
and I think we ended up cooking close to 600 plus hot dogs. I ain't never seen that many people before. You would have thought we were having a festival out there. I mean, because we had the bubbles, and we had the golf cart and impaired driving course. We had fingerprinting. We had a DJ. We had snow combs. I mean, we had it all, but you would have thought it was a festival as many people showed up.
Yeah, I saw it on Facebook, and it was a very nice event. Y'all do some awesome things. You really do. The sheriff is very community oriented.
Yes,
he is.
And I've seen him everywhere. I see him everywhere all the time, out in the community, and that's important. If you're not out in the community, how do you know what's going on in your community?
I agree.
How do you know, if you're sitting behind a desk, how do you know what's going on?
He is out there every day.
Yes.
And I saw where Firehouse Subs bought y'all an ATV or side by side.
We applied for Firehouse Sub does a grant every year, and we applied for it this year, and we got a grant for right at $24,000.
Wow.
And we bought a side by side UTV that we're going to use to when we go out in the fields and terrains and stuff, missing persons and stuff like that, where we can't get to them with regular vehicles. Now we actually have a side by side.
Yeah, I saw that, and it looked neat.
And that was big. I mean, that was the first time we'd ever applied for it, and we were able to get it. So, thanks to Firehouse Sub for that. And we got it in, so now we just got to get the decals on it and the lights and stuff like that. And
it looks sharp.
Wow.
We should, hopefully, we'll have it at the Pumpkin Festival. Let's hope we have it ready.
Oh, that would be good. Yes, that's coming up, September 30th. So, anyway.
First weekend in October, always.
Always. So, all right. Well, thank you for coming this morning, Captain, and
Yes,
we'll see you back the first of the next month.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'll be here.
All right. We'll be right back on the K-Files with me and JP.
No one ever wants to go into a life emergency. In fact, many of us wouldn't even know what to do if we were faced with an emergency, but they will come. Thankfully, there's men and women that train every single day for moments like this. They work on our behalf to serve and protect our local communities. Hi, I'm Kevin Zander from Don's Body Shop and Auto Body Wilson. With everything that's going on in life right now, we just want to take a moment to thank our first responders, for those that pledged their lives to serve and protect in our communities. We all expect people to do their jobs, but some people's occupations may even require them to give of their life as a sacrifice. For this reason, we also want to honor those families that lost a loved one in the line of duty. Our thoughts and our prayers are with you. Let us not take these servants for granted. To our first responders, again, we say thank you. From our nurses to our military, we appreciate your service. And as a local business owner, I pray that we continue to work together and strive for an emergency-free community. Thank you, and God bless.
I'm Daniel Moss, owner of Cornerstone Funeral Home, and I'd like to invite you and your family to give our family an opportunity to serve you in your time of need. And we offer a full line of funeral services, everything from visitations to graveside services to cremations on site with a live crematory, as well as a banquet hall to meet the catering needs of our families that we serve. We offer catering service, we offer refreshments prior to visitations and services of our family, and we want to invite you to come and experience the difference here at Cornerstone Funeral Home.
What is the Davis Furniture difference? The difference is we buy with you in mind. For generations, we have listened to our customers. We can help you find the look you want for every room in your house. Quality, style, color, and of course service. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Davis Furniture, the family business where we treat you like family. Let us help you make your house a home. Davis Furniture, historical downtown Rocky Mount, on the corner of Hill and Main.
Being prepared and trained is the best way to keep your family safe. The best way to be prepared is to learn from those who've spent a lifetime protecting us. Barnes Safety and Consulting LLC offers concealed carry classes with instructors who are law enforcement officers active and retired with more than 100 years of law enforcement experience. Monthly classes are taught year-round with private classes and special group rates available. Classes are $75 and held in the Bailey area. Call or text 1-800-653-0643. Get your concealed carry permit and avoid becoming a victim.
I'm a student here at Edgecombe Community College in the respiratory therapy program. I drive 60 miles one way because the training here, it is very different. It's more hands-on training. The technology here is spot on, and instructors that are open and willing to give me extra help that I need. I feel very confident, so when I start my career, I will have the knowledge and the tools that I need to actually succeed in my career.
When a retired surgeon had a hernia, he knew Nash Surgery was the place to go.
I knew that I wanted to have it done robotically, and I knew that Dr. Alkire was a surgeon who'd used that method to do his hernia repairs.
Whatever the procedure, Dr. Mathis believes the entire staff at Nash Surgery is top-notch.
From start to finish, it was excellent, just plain excellent.
Nash Surgery, excellent surgical care close to home.
100% I would recommend Nash Surgery to people here.
And welcome back to the K-Files. We're going to get started this morning with going over some cases, which is very important because we want you to listen up, and if you know anything, if you know something, say something. Please call the number on the screen. $15,000 is in the pot. You can get up to $15,000 for a tip, and it will be completely anonymous. That's how it works. So JP's going to read our first case this morning.
Magdalene Puckett. This was July the 8th, 1990. Magdalene Puckett was at home with her mother, Aggie Robertson, who was 81, at 906 Clark Street in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, when 4 suspects broke in through a kitchen window in the middle of the night. The suspects sexually assaulted and beat Magdalene Puckett and left her for dead. Her mother was also beaten, but able to advise that it was 4 black males, but was not able to provide a full detailed description. Police believe the suspects intended robbery, but were surprised to find Robertson and Puckett. Neighbors initially thought Puckett had died of natural causes and started to clean up the crime scene and destroyed evidence before police arrived. Police realized that a crime had been committed, but the evidence at that point had been compromised. In 1996, Robertson passed away. She was the only witness in the crime.
Wow. And when you are traumatized and you are 81, chances are you're not going to remember some of the things that
You need to
remember. It's just that way. So sad this case has been going on since 1990. The family very much has been just very upset about this case for years and years. And I've talked to some of the family, and has not been solved because some of the evidence was tampered with. So
unintentionally.
not tampered,
Yeah.
unintentionally, because I think the person that cleaned it up they were elderly also. So anyway, if you know
that
anything.
That happens. I know we had a situation, this was years ago at the sheriff's office. An elderly person had passed away. We thought in their sleep. Funeral home comes, does the removal, which is customary. The loved one is transported to the funeral home. Sheriff's Department gets a phone call, says, hey, this person's got multiple gunshot wounds in the back.
Oh.
Okay.
Wow.
At that point, it's a mess.
Yes.
If somebody is 70, 80 years old and they're lying what appears to be comfortably in their bed,
yeah,
you just assume it's just a mess.
And that's
things like that can happen.
Yeah, they can. They really can. So if you know anything about the Magdalene Puckett case, and I believe her mother, which it also talks about in here, has Aggie Robertson has died as well since then. So, of course, because this was 1990. Okay, Cheryl Denise Watson. We don't know a lot about that case, JP.
Yeah, this is a case that I wasn't familiar with. Cheryl Denise Watson. This is from April 10th, 1991. Cheryl's half-naked body was found in Pineview Cemetery on Raleigh Street in Rocky Mount. Reports show that a headstone was the actual murder weapon used in that.
That's different, isn't it?
That is.
Golly.
That's
in Pineview Cemetery.
Yeah.
And they used a headstone.
I had never heard of this case. I wasn't familiar with this.
I wish we had more details of this case. I might see if I can't find out. I can usually call, I can call the police department and see if they have any updates or anything else they could give us that's not in the book. So anyway, if you know anything about Cheryl Denise Watson, please call the authorities, call this number. You can call Rocky Mount Police Department or Crime Stoppers 977-1111. Either one of those numbers, the hotline number, and you might could collect some cash. We do pay in cash, and we do pay quickly. We pay within 48 hours. So please call. Okay, Tony Grant.
Tony Grant, July 2nd, 1996. In the early morning hours, the Rocky Mount Fire Department was dispatched to a house fire at 628 Myrtle Avenue in Rocky Mount. When the fire department arrived and made entry into the home, they found Tony Grant, 47, in the hallway of the residence outside of a burning bedroom. Firefighters moved Grant outside, and that is when they found out that he had been beaten and burned. He had multiple blunt force injuries to the face and head, and burns about his body.
I tell you what, that's a bad way to go. That is a bad way to be burned.
Yeah, that's terrible. So what they probably did was set the house on fire in an attempt to destroy evidence.
47 years old.
47 years
what
old.
What a shame. 7/2/1996. So if you know anything about this case,
And yet again, this is the second case we've talked about this morning that clearly began as a home invasion.
exactly.
And I know I talk about it all the time. A home invasion is my biggest fear as a parent, or as a spouse. I mean, just even if I'm at home alone,
Exactly.
somebody coming in my home.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it's just terrible, you know. And a lot of times, as was the case in the Magdalene Puckett, they think, sometimes they don't think you're home.
Mm-hmm.
And that probably makes it worse because they get just all upset and mad, and it just, you know, it's just a terrible feeling. Or sometimes they come in on you. They know you're home.
Mm-hmm.
But a home invasion is not a good thing.
A lot of people go around to a house and they'll actually ring your doorbell or knock.
Yes.
And a lot of older people especially, they'll be like, look, I'm going to be quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all get still if they got kids. They'll leave. And that is the worst thing you can do. Yell real loud. I'm not interested. Get off my porch. Get out of my yard. Turn the TV on. Cough. Do something to make a noise to let whoever that is know that you are or someone is
That's
inside
exactly
that
right.
residence.
And sometimes they may leave
Yes.
if they realize you're home.
I would say most people, most criminals, my personal opinion is they don't want to go in your home
Yes.
knowing that someone is in there.
Yes, that's right.
I believe that.
So-
Now, as in the case with these older ladies, sadly, they may have been targeted.
Yeah,
You know.
they may have been.
And they may have thought, you know, we don't care if they're home or not. They're older, they can't defend
They
themselves.
can't do anything. Yeah. And there was 4 of them too. I mean,
That's right.
4.
And usually in a home invasion at night, it's just the opposite. You're going to have 2, 3, 4 people as perpetrators.
That's right.
Because they want that force.
That's right. That's exactly right. So, anyway, yeah, home invasions are not a good thing. And if you know anything about these cases, please let us know. We'll move on now to Nakia Shimon Bynum.
Nakia Shimon Bynum. This is a September 9th, 1997 case. Nakia Bynum, 21, was reported missing by her grandmother who last saw her on August 24th, 1997. Further investigation revealed that another individual saw Bynum on August 25th, 1997 at 603 A Broad Street in Wilson, North Carolina. Nakia left her 18-month-old daughter with a sitter, left home around 7 p.m. on August 25th, 1997. On September 9th, 1997, a deceased person in a cardboard box was located off Benton Road in a field in Nash County by a farmer tending to his land. Later that month, it was determined that those remains were that of Nakia Bynum, which was matched through dental records.
Wow. So they didn't find her from August 25th to September 9th, so about 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks, is when they found her in a field.
And that would have been a bad time to be outside with the temperatures and
Yes.
heat, and that's going to be why it took dental records, sadly, to confirm her identity.
Sounds like she went to meet somebody.
Yeah,
Don't
she
it?
made preparations, yeah.
Yeah, because she had a babysitter staying with her 18-month-old daughter and left home at 7 p.m. at night. So it sounds like she went and met somebody, but she didn't meet a good person if she did, because this is not good.
It'd be interesting to know what kind of cardboard box, if there was any markings on it, which would,
Right.
you know, which could kind of give you a point of where the cardboard box came from. A lot
Right.
of times it has markings on it, things you can trace back to a point of origin. I would argue that anybody that took the time to put you in a box, a random stranger's not going to do that. They're just going to dump your body.
That's right. That's a good thought. I hadn't thought about that. But they did take the time and trouble to put her in a box.
That's right.
Wow.
That's odd.
That is very odd. Okay, well, as we say, if you know anything about Nakia, Shimon, Bynum, in Wilson, on Broad Street in Wilson, 603 to be exact, as JP said, please come forward and help out the authorities. Give closure to families. That's what we're about. Give closure to these families that have been dealing with this for years and years and years. Who did this to my loved one, or where is my loved one?
That's right.
You know, so anyway, got to go to break, go to weather. We'll be right back on the K-Files.
I'm a student here at Edgecombe Community College in the respiratory therapy program. I drive 60 miles one way because the training here, it is very different. It's more hands-on training. The technology here is spot on, and instructors that are open and willing to give me extra help that I need. So I feel very confident. So when I start my career, I will have the knowledge and the tools that I need to actually succeed in my career.
When a retired surgeon had a hernia, he knew Nash Surgery was the place to go.
I knew that I wanted to have it done robotically, and I knew that Dr. Alkire was a surgeon who'd used that method to do his hernia repairs.
Whatever the procedure, Dr. Mathis believes the entire staff at Nash Surgery is top-notch.
From start to finish, it was excellent, just plain excellent.
Nash Surgery, excellent surgical care close to home.
100% I would recommend Nash Surgery to people here.
Happy Labor Day from the Don Bullock Chevrolet family. Don Bullock Chevrolet is third-generation family-owned and has been doing business the better way for over 100 years. We have over 30 different makes of cars and trucks on our lot, and you can save thousands of dollars right now. Doing business the better way, Don Bullock Chevrolet.
Hi, I'm Fred George, president of Trade It and Small Shops Mall, inviting you to come visit both stores right next to each other at 2916 Sunset Avenue in the Inglewood Square Shopping Center. At Trade It, you'll find the best selection of gently used items, all backed by a 30-day warranty. Phones, jewelry, video games, computers, tools, musical instruments, TVs, stereos, phone accessories, and pretty much anything else you can think of. And when you come visit, bring some items you aren't using anymore, and we'll pay you cash on the spot. So bring that TV from your guest room, those tools you don't need, that old phone, your old jewelry, or the video games no one plays anymore, and turn them into cash at Trade It. Walk right next door to Trade It and check out the ever-changing merchants of Small Shops Mall, with nearly 100 shops selling antiques, clothing, crafts, Dixie Belle paints, books, toys, computer repair, vinyl records, games, hot sauce, candles, and a lot more. And if you've ever thought of owning your own retail business, talk to our staff about opening up a small retail store here at Small Shops, where there's never a long-term lease and we're open 7 days a week bringing up your sales for you. Locals shop local at Trade It at Small Shops Mall.
The tank is on E and your low tire pressure light is glaring at you again. You do not have time to wait in line and pay to put air in the tires, and you certainly don't want to get out of the car in the cold and pump gas. What if you could pull up to a gas pump and have an attendant run out to greet you to pump your gas, clean your windshield, and put air in the tire, all for no extra charge, while you step inside and enjoy a made-to-order breakfast or lunch? Does that kind of full service exist anymore? It does at JD's Grocery and Grill, a service station created to bring back the full service experience to all customers. JD's Grocery and Grill is a full service gas station. Eat in restaurant with tasty made-to-order food and a grocery store all in one. The staff at JD's Grocery and Grill is ready to field all requests and will help you find anything you need. Call them today at 252-972-5000 or stop on by at 1240 Atlantic Avenue. Store hours Monday through Saturday 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Grill hours Monday through Saturday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. JD's Grill and Grocery, at the heart of great food.
Okay, welcome back to the K-Files. If you just joined us this morning, we're going over some of the cases that are kind of old from the 90s. But you know what, folks? That makes it even worse because those families have suffered so long, not knowing.
Have a lot of unanswered questions, and they want peace, they want closure, they want some answers, they want justice.
Yes, they do. And we're hoping one of these cases will strike you, ring a bell with you. Any little tip would help. It doesn't matter. Just anything you can think of would help. So anyway, Constance Melissa Pender.
Constance Melissa Pender. This is a case from October 10th, 1997. Officers responded to the 1300 block of Phillip Street in Wilson, North Carolina, in reference to a body located in the woods near the train tracks. The body was that of a female, and she was later identified as Constance Melissa Pender, who had been assaulted and killed.
Wow.
Not a whole lot of details.
No, not a lot of details.
No age, race. I'm not familiar with Phillip Street in Wilson.
I'm not either, really. 1300 block. Near the train tracks is where they found her, in the woods. So, and was a female, Constance Melissa Pender.
She had been assaulted before she was killed. Terrible.
It is. Okay. We'll also do another case from August of 98, David Moody.
David Moody. This case is from August 22nd, 1998. Rocky Mount Police Department was dispatched to a shooting on the corner of Goldleaf Street and Carolina Avenue in Rocky Mount. When on the scene, they found David Moody suffering from a gunshot wound. He was transferred to the hospital where he succumbed to his injuries. Another case that
Another
we don't
gunshot
have
wound.
a whole lot of information,
Right.
but senselessly killed from a gunshot.
Right.
Goldleaf Street, Carolina Avenue. I'm not familiar with either one of those. I can't place it.
I think they are off of Raleigh Road, close to the Pineview Cemetery.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I think it's over that way. But if you know anything about David Moody, if the name rings a bell, if you know, it doesn't tell where he lived. He was on the corner of Goldleaf Street, Carolina Avenue, and received, suffering from a gunshot wound, transferred to the hospital and passed away. So, anyway, all right, Terry Bernard Mitchell.
Terry Bernard Mitchell. This case is from February 28th, 1999. At around 7:43 a.m., officers responded to 553 Nash Street East in Wilson, North Carolina, behind the J&H pool room at the time, in reference to a subject that had been hurt. Officers arrived and located Mitchell deceased from multiple stab wounds. I'm sure J&H pool room is probably long gone.
Probably.
I am familiar with Nash Street, so that's going to be kind of downtown.
But it's so senseless, JP. These young, 19 years old, these young people. I mean, it just doesn't make sense.
And it also shows you, I mean, it's not necessarily guns. Look in Canada this past week. This young man here he was killed with a knife or some type of instrument that, from being stabbed multiple times. If people want to hurt you, if people want to kill you, they're going to use whatever weapon they have at their disposal.
I don't exactly know where Looper and Mullins Street are, but hopefully somebody does. That's sad. He was on the phone to his brother. He was being chased. He dialed his brother to probably tell him that he was being chased, or he started being chased while he was on the phone with his brother. I don't know.
Yeah, that is the Melvin Eugene Avent case. That one is from December 29th, 1999.
Oh, we read Terry Mitchell. I jumped ahead. I'm sorry. I jumped ahead. Terry Mitchell. Let's go back to that.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No.
7:43 a.m., as you said, Nash Street. We all know where Nash Street is. That's the main street. When you're going down 58, it just runs into Nash Street, goes right through Wilson. And
the courthouse, Western Sizzling,
goes by the
Dick's
Harvey
Hot
Wilson
Dogs.
Hotel,
Yep,
which is
that's
where
right.
Tammy Grady's case was.
That's right.
And they arrived, and he was deceased from stab wounds.
Multiple stab wounds. Yeah.
Right behind J&H pool room. But I do wonder if that pool room is still there. Probably not. 1999.
I'm going to say not.
I say not.
I worked Wilson for years, and I'm not familiar with a J&H pool room, so I'm
thinking,
assuming it was
like
kind of
you, it's probably
in
gone.
and out.
But if you know anything about Terry Bernard Mitchell from 2/28/1999, please call the number. There's the numbers. Yeah, let's go to the case that I apparently wanted to really hear about.
I began wondering if I had read the wrong case.
No.
Okay. Yeah, Melvin Eugene Avent. This case is from December 29th, 1999. And in this case, at around 1:40 a.m., Melvin Eugene Avent, who was 19 years old at the time, he was on the phone with his brother as someone was chasing him. His brother did hear him say to the person, "You don't have to do this," before he was shot and killed on the corner of Looper and Mullen Street in Rocky Mount.
I don't really know where Looper and Mullins Street is. I can't think of where that would be. So I don't know. But that's pretty bad. Do you think he called his brother first? Or you think he called him while he was being chased?
He called him while he was being chased. He knew how this was going to end. He knew whoever did this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely
He knew what was coming.
Because he said, you don't have to do this. But he did it anyway. And imagine the brother on the other end of the phone. Imagine how he probably heard.
So helpless.
Yeah. I mean, so, you know, he probably heard the gunshot. I'm sure.
No doubt.
And thought, oh my God, my brother, you know. So that's sad.
Clean cut young man, 19 years old at the time, and I'm sure killed over nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you know anything, this was in 1999, right after Christmas, 12/29. Right after Christmas, around 1:40. So in Mullen Street, if Mullen Street and Looper Street ring a bell, there you go. Please call, and we'll go over again in case we always have new viewers. I feel like because I had somebody in my business group to say. To me about 2 weeks ago, they said, I just started catching that show because we get to stand up for 30 seconds every week and talk about our business for 30 seconds, what we do. And I always try to pick one of our shows or something like that and tell people, watch the K-Files. So this person said, I watched and it's interesting. Wow. And she said, I like here. So, you know, I'm going to take her a book next week. If you don't have one of these books, You need to get one and come by, and because this could jog a memory by you reading it.
That's right.
I mean, it could jar your memory too. So please do so. But there's $15,000 up. You could get up to $15,000, people, and it's cash. If you want to get a little cash, Christmas is coming up. If you want to get a little cash and you know something, it's anonymous. Nobody's going to know who you are. Don't be afraid. I understand the fear of somebody finding out, but this is anonymous. So please.
In a lot of these cases, the governor's office has additional funds
That's exactly
that they've made
right.
available. Family has stepped forward and they've got funds available.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not necessarily just 15. Some of them could be a lot more.
Sometimes the governor's office has added sometimes 10,000,
That's right.
5,000 to it. So look at the money you could collect from just doing the right thing. From doing the right thing, JP. I mean, that's all it takes. So we'll hold off till next week to go to our next page. We're going through the book. And if you know of a case, that I had a real estate person contact me one time about a case. She said, I wish you'd talk about this case. I knew nothing about it. So I talked to Nash County, and he said, oh, we have that case and we need to talk about it. It was just assigned to Nash County. But so if you know of a case that you want us to look into, talk about, let us know if you're interested in a case. So we'll be happy to do it. We'll be happy to do it. So anyway,
On
that's
a
all
side
for today.
note, I do want to say something.
Okay.
As a lot of you know, it is political season. Sheriff Keith Stone is a very dear friend of mine, personal friend of mine. I worked for him on the Highway Patrol for years. If you want a sign in your yard, if you want a yard sign, if you'll text me at 919-369-0311. Again, text me at 919-369-0311. I will have a yard sign delivered to you. He is a working sheriff. He's a great guy, and he has
Yes.
done wonders for Nash County.
Absolutely, he really has. Of course, I support him totally, and because of what he's done. And I believe in a working sheriff. I believe that if you're not out in the community, you can't know what's going on in the community. And if you're not out there with your deputies, you don't know their needs as much as you do if you were. I mean, he works cases, people. I mean, look at the case that not long ago, he followed the car, and we talked about it. He followed the car, and it was a chase, and he himself had his daughter, and they were shopping, and he was sitting in the car waiting for his daughter to go in and pick something up that she needed, and he saw this in the parking lot. She had gotten back in the car, but he saw this in the parking lot. You got to remember, Keith Stone rode in a sheriff car with his father from
That's
the time
right.
he was 10 years old.
That's right.
He rode.
This is all he knows.
Yes.
Is public service.
Yeah, that's what he knows. So anyway, I'm glad you added that, so that JP will get you a sign if you want
We
one.
will. Deliver it to your house, 919-369-0311.
That's right. Okay. Well, we'll see you next week on the K-Files.